I'm Gary Williams, pleased to be joined by 11-time PGA Tour winner, 10 additional wins on PGA Tour champions, my friend John Cook. Good to be with you.
Always, Gary. Good to be here.
It's nice to be outside of the studio here at Isleworth on a glorious day. It's a great place to work. So let's get to work. This is your full swing special. I've got my Bushnell rangefinder, and the reason I'm going to go ahead and shoot this flag here is because, you know, I've got it at 119, a little bit into. You've got a scoring club in your hand.
I have a pitching wedge in my hand right now, and I consider scoring clubs, for me, anywhere from a 6-iron on down to through the wedges.
Okay, let's discuss, before you hit this first shot, with respect to when you got a pitching wedge in your hand, swing keys for you, just simple fundamental things that you want to do every time with that club.
Yeah, because I get to do this a lot, I'm not really thinking mechanics anymore. I'm just thinking, really dialing it in, just getting my eyes used to that number. I know how hard I need to hit it, into the wind, a little bit left to right. It's a pretty good pitching wedge for me. But again, it's all about balance. It's all about foundation. It's about, being able to get a nice rotation, get some width, and then make sure that I don't throw my arms and throw my hands, that I turn my body through and get that nice piercing flight. Get that club on the back of the ball with a nice descending blow, and just go ahead and hold that finish and watch that ball flight up there.
Okay, let's go ahead and have you hit one.
Okay, good, nice rotation, kind of dialing in. 119-yard pitching wedge. Online. That'll be a little short, but that's online.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's right at it. You talk about getting dialed in. The best players in the world are very specific. You want to know your exact numbers. And even though the amateur golfer is not as good, they need to practice with the purpose. They need to come out here and understand how far they're hitting all these clubs, right?
Exactly. And you don't want to overpower your short irons, especially your short irons. The harder you swing at your short irons, the more spin you're going to have. Backspin can be very detrimental. You want spin, you want check, and hold the position. You never want anything coming backwards at you because you cannot control how far the ball comes back. You can only control the ball, the flight, the ball checking, and the ball holding its position. Whether you can hit a pitching wedge 140 yards or that doesn't matter. Numbers when you get to irons and scoring clubs is irrelevant. It's how you can control the distance when you have those scoring opportunities.
Okay, let's see another one.
Okay. Nice rotation. Nice crisp ball flight. That one's got a chance right there.
John, one of the things that, we will talk about as we go through this series with you is, certain fundamentals and the way you put your hands on the club. I'm just looking at it. It just looks perfect.
That was one of the very first sessions I had with Ken Venturi when I was 14 years old in 1972 was, let's learn some fundamentals. This is how I learned. This is what Byron Nelson taught me. This is what Ben Hogan taught me through the years of playing. And it starts with a good fundamental grip. I never had a real, baseball grip even when I was young. It was always pretty decent. As I've gone through the years, I get into some bad habits. Sometimes I get high with my right hand, which gets my right side high, which doesn't allow me to rotate the club. So that's why I do, this little move here. It gets my right arm under and gets my right hand in a nice position. So I always want to see, I want pressure in these 3 fingers of my left hand. I want to see a couple of knuckles, maybe one at least on my left. I want to go underneath with my right hand, be able to see these 2 fingernails right there. And that's where the pressure is there. You could take, these 2 fingers off the club and still hit pretty good golf shots if you have nice foundation in these 2 fingers right here. So that's basically my grip. The V created by my thumb and index finger kind of point just inside my right shoulder, just to the right of my center of my chest. So that right there starts with a basic fundamental grip.
All right, let's see another one.
Okay, scoring clubs. Nice little pitching wedge. Dial it in. Those have been pretty good.
So solid. As we continue on Golf Channel Academy, John is going to go through his bag. And we're going to get all the way down to those long irons, which can make people a little bit nervy. So much more to do on Golf Channel Academy. We are back on Golf Channel Academy. This is John Cook's Full Swing Special. John, are you signing an autograph for me?
Here you go. I got one right here.
I mean, it's got real value, but I think you're doing something different. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm putting a dot on the toe of my club. And the reason I did that is when I was 14 years old and started with Ken Venturi, he had me, I kind of shut the club going back. He always wanted the club rotating. Hand me the toe of the club. Turn the toe of the club to me, John. I can't see the toe of the club. Show me the toe. Well, this kind of accentuated that fact where you could see the actual toe as he was standing behind me. He'd have me take out a magic marker and just put a little dot on the toe of the club right there. And what that does is when I look down at that club, I see the toe, and now I just know that the toe of that club has got to travel the furthest in the swing. And so when he wanted to see that toe, I showed him that toe of the club. And then I knew from there, that's where I got my width, that's where I got my extension, that's where I created space on my downswing to go ahead and turn and hit the golf ball.
Okay, I know you like to dot the I. Now show the toe.
We're going to show the toe. So he would always flash me the toe, just like that. But he had me do it with the center of my chest, not just turning the hands or with the arms. It was turn the toe of the club back to me.
Okay.
So we'll show you the toe.
Rock solid. Now you still got that pitching wedge in your hand. Let me ask you, grab that 7-iron. Let's kind of start moving through the bag. And with respect to any adjustments, as the clubs get a little bit longer, a little bit less loft, what adjustments are you making?
The swing we learned is there's one swing for 13 clubs in the bag. The only thing that really changes is the distance you stand from the ball, the width of your stance, maybe a little bit of the ball position. Not a whole lot till you get up into the driver where you really want to be hitting up on the ball. You don't want to really be hitting up on the ball when you've got your irons. So it didn't really vary a whole lot. So my stance will be a little bit wider. I'll stand a little bit further away, but my stance and posture will be about the same. Everything that I was trying to do with my pitching wedge, I try to do with my 7-iron. Again, get the club nice and rotated. Maintain your foundation in your lower body. Get that weight kind of going back to the right heel on your backswing, and then just uncoil. So, those are the basic fundamentals of the swing, and they don't change throughout the bag.
Okay, let's go ahead and see that 7-iron.
Again, I'm going to show you the toe of the club, and then nice weight on my right heel. Turn and go.
John, one thing you said was with respect to your distance from the golf ball, most amateurs that you see in pro-ams are too far away from the golf ball.
Absolutely. Venturi always talked about you've never seen anybody too close to the ball. Everybody wants to get in there and get far from the ball and pump into the right and, just feel that's a feeling of power, but it's inefficient. So you find a nice position to where you can bend at the waist, keep your back nice and straight, your shoulders back a little bit, and create that nice foundation that you have to create the power and the speed to get the balls up in the air. When you have basic fundamentals and you're just making one swing, it should produce a trajectory that's consistent. Distance control starts with trajectory control, and I learned that at an early age. So I'm always paying attention to where the ball is leaving and where it is on the apex of the trajectory. Then I know that all those balls are pretty much going in the same spot.
Okay.
So if I look up in the air, that's just about the same spot that the first one went, and I promise you when you get out there, they're within a couple yards of each other. I shagged my own golf balls, so I didn't want to be running all over the practice tee, trying to round up my golf balls. So I went out there and they were in a nice little circle.
Now, how about maintenance on your golf swing? When you are working and you're in the middle of a competitive season, what are some of the things that you do maintenance-wise with your golf swing when you're working through your bag?
I would always take notes on a scorecard when I had a session with Kenny. He always talked about great players don't get out of swing, they get out of line. Your lines are crossed up. If your lines are crossed up, your swing's going to get crossed up. It doesn't take 2 or 3 swings to figure that out. So I would always go back to square one. I'd check my grip. Okay, grip was good. Oh, maybe I was a little high in my right side. I've been playing in a lot of wind. You know, you get up there and you're trying to knock the ball down and you're trying to always hit it like that. I'd have to work back under, get my right hand back underneath, and then just make sure that I wasn't aimed too far to the right. If you get too far to the right, your lines get out of swing. So it's just a matter of getting back in line. So that was really the only maintenance I did through the year.
Okay, drop another one in that little circle you created out there.
Nice little 7-iron. This should be about 160 yards. Just a stock 7, turn the toe.
Love that sound. All right, when we continue on Golf Channel Academy, John has thought about something, or maybe he hasn't, but I'm gonna make him go back in time. He doesn't know what it is. Plus, long irons, less loft, more difficult to hit. What adjustments do you make? Much more on Golf Channel Academy. We are back on Golf Channel Academy. This is John Cook's Full Swing Special. And John, you know, when you're out on the range, you're supposed to practice with a purpose, but it's supposed to be fun. And that's when we get to the area of shaping shots. And you use certain key words when it comes to shaping the golf ball.
Right. Ken and I worked a lot on this, and we weren't really aiming at a lot of the flag sticks. We would go into corners. We would go into different areas of the trees where they go in and out, and we would try to shape shots in there. And one thing he really stressed was, if you don't see it and feel the shot, don't force it. Go with your stock, whatever shot that is. If I don't see that pin in the left with the wind blowing left to right, trying to draw one in there, if I don't see or feel that, go ahead and hit it to the middle of the green. If I don't see that shot and I can't really feel it, don't force it. Okay. But we did work on little shapes here and there. We tried to hit 3 different clubs to different spots. So you're drawing one, you're cutting one, and you're hitting a straight ball. So definitely don't force things if that's not your nature. What I'm feeling right here is the shape, where we're going on the angle of the range right now. I'm feeling everything's going to cut. It just feels like everything is going this way. So with my body, I'm not really going to have to do much. I think that my eye is going to allow me to do it. But if I was going to hit a cut, I'd aim just a little bit more to the left of that red flag, and I would hold the face open a little bit. And then what I would try to do is just hold that face open as long as I could. I don't want to hit a big slice. I want to hit like a whole drop shot. That's what Nicklaus was famous for. He didn't hit big slices. He hit these high-powering little hold drop shots that would just drop to the right a little bit. That's why he won all those majors. You can't win major championships hitting big hooks. You have to be able to hit that little drop shot.
Okay, let's see that little drop shot.
Okay, little drop shot. So 7-iron here, little drop. I'll take that.
Absolutely. That's the drop shot right there.
That was the drop.
If I ask you to turn one over.
Sure. When you do that, you're trying to control it into that left to right wind, and you want to turn that ball and just kind of hold it. Up to about 10 miles an hour, you can work the ball and use that wind and hold the ball up against the wind. Any stronger than that, you're just beating yourself to death. So if I'm going to try to hit it like just a little hold draw into a little, maybe a left hole location that I have to go right to left, I'm going to get the ball back in my stance just a tiny bit. I'm going to have the club face very square, and I'm just going to let the club pass and not try to flip hook it with my hands and my arms, but I'm going to try to turn the club down with my right shoulder and just a nice little gentle draw. So I'm going to picture that, but if I set up with the ball back in my stance a little bit, it's going to aim my body a little bit more to the right, then I'm just going to hold it and turn it down. It actually drew a little bit.
You did exactly that.
And that would come down nice and soft. And that's where you use the wind to hold that and just let it drop.
Yeah, and you showed the toe. Been doing it a long time.
Flash
He was a prodigy, winning that U.S. Amateur in the great state of New Jersey, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Yes, he did. When we come back, the long irons, and I'm going to give him a do-over. He doesn't know what it is. We're back after this. 1992 Open Championship, 72nd hole. John Cook trying to win that elusive major championship at Muirfield. Every great player has a swing they'd like to have over. It was the full swing into the 18th hole where you think you made a mistake. Explain.
That's my bread and butter, ball striking, and I struck the ball so beautifully all week. So what did I do on 18? I just hyped a drive right down the middle of the fairway, and I had myself in between clubs. I thought I had 202 yards to the hole. I remember it vividly. And I said, well, I'm going to fire this 3-iron right at it and just kind of hold it up against the wind, and it should be perfect.
He's missed it on the right and up against the fence. Well, he'll get a drop from there, but he's made the fatal error of missing the final green.
So instead of hitting that, full-on 3-iron, what I should have done is taken out a 4-iron, played the shots that I've been playing all week, put it back in my stance, hit a nice little low chaser, hit it on the front of the green, and run it back there.
Well, 25 years later, we're giving you the do-over.
Oh.
So you've got the 4-iron.
I got
grab
the
that
3-iron in my hand. I'll get the 4-iron.
And hit that shot that
Here's the shot I should have hit. So to hit that little low chaser, I'm going to grip down on the club towards the steel. I'm going to stand a little bit closer to the ball. But you still got to take a nice full back swing, get that club nice and rotated, but I'm going to shorten up my follow through and really have some speed through the ball, but make sure that I full swing back, short swing through.
Okay.
Stand a little closer, picture your shot, ball back in the stance, hands ahead, turn. Oh. I'd have a jug in my house right now if I'd have hit that shot.
Now, since you've got that 4-iron in your hand, a lot of people have made the adjustment. They've gone to hybrids. You don't see as many long irons in the bags of the average golfer. But what are the keys to striking the long irons well?
You don't try to help the ball up in the air. There is loft on this club, and the flex of the shaft is going to help you do that. Nice, solid foundation. Same thing, you're going to have some width, you're going to have some rotation, you're going to have to create some speed, and to do that you're going to have the nice solid lower body, let that speed take over, nice rotation, good width, turn back through, but don't try to help the ball up by trying to lift it off the ground. That's what the loft of the club is for. Just trying to make good contact. These are not scoring clubs. Anything inside 30 feet and in is a nice shot. Nice wide stance, turn the club, don't lift.
Oh, that's solid. What great flight as well. Now, what adjustments do you make as you get to a club of that length with respect to your ball position and the width of your stance?
Yeah, as I go through the bag, now, once I get to the 5-iron, I'm pretty much shoulder width as far as my stance goes, and that's the inside of the inside to inside. Nice knee flex. Bend at the waist, nice rotation, but the ball is basically just inside the left heel. I haven't really moved it much from the 7-iron on down, so I'm going to keep the ball inside the left heel and get that nice, it's all about the good rotation and good solid foundation on your lower part of your body, and then just go ahead and turn up against that left side and go ahead and create some speed, but not with your arms and your hands, but with the turn of your body.
Okay, let's see another one.
Okay, nice rotation, hold that face.
Well, the flight of those balls are just all the same.
I like that.